Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. And look, it's Christmas Day. You and me are sitting here and doing videos. What are we doing after a long World Cup?
It is Christmas Day. It really is Christmas Day.
It's great to be in Portsmouth. We've got to get through our predictions. 10 games, 10 scores. Who's the guest?
Well, I'll tell you what, Theo. First of all, the guest last week was Tex, the FIFA World Champion. You know
How
what?
did he do?
He's supposed to be this FIFA player. He got 9 points. You got 6, I got 6.
He beat us.
He beat us. How can we beat that? Who is the guest?
The only way to announce my guest is putting on this Christmas hat and saying, it's the supercomputer.
What's that? It's like a robot.
That is correct. For the first time ever, our special guest is not human. This app, which I'm not paid to shout out by the way, called Genie, has just amazed me. It's a robot who will do anything you ask, from essays to poems to score predictions. You won't believe it. Where do we begin?
Let's start in London. It's Brentford in 10th place against Tottenham Hotspur in 4th. So it's West London against North London.
Do you know what? The hat's coming off for these predictions. It's getting serious now. It's a few London matches. And let's be real, Harry Kane, it was his fault England didn't make it through against France, missing that second penalty. England had a great chance at the World Cup and it's gone missing. How will that affect his head coming back to the Premier League?
It's not his fault, Theo. It was always going to be about fine margins. We lost, we move on. It wasn't Harry Kane's fault.
Brentford, they look strong. They've got a good team, but it's always weird after a 6-week break.
Let's remember the last game week, if you can. Ivan Toney, 2 goals, one in the last minute against Manchester City. If you can beat City away, you can beat anyone.
Do you reckon it could be another 0-0?
No, I don't. That is one of the scores that I don't expect. I think there's going to be goals here.
My prediction, Brentford 0, Tottenham 2. Kulu and Kane, 1 each.
Brentford 1, Spurs 2 for me.
Really? So we're both going for Tottenham wins, 1 and 2 goals. Let's go over to the supercomputer.
Based on the current form of both teams, I would predict a score of 2-1 in favour of Tottenham.
Crystal Palace against Fulham. It's 11th versus 9th. 2 more London teams, and both these teams lost last game week. What do you think about Crystal Palace?
It's the battle of 19 points on Christmas. Who's going to get to 22? We will soon find out. For me, you've got to look at Selhurst Park, home form, the way they're performing. Zaha on his friendlies.
They don't score that many goals, surprisingly, but they're quite tight defensively. But they're playing Fulham, who are not in good form. 1 point in 3 games, Theo. I think there's going to be a lot of guesswork this week, Theo, because we don't know who's knackered from the World Cup, who's going to be rested, etc.
Yeah.
But in this game, I'm going to go with home advantage. I think it's going to be narrow, low scoring. Crystal Palace 1, Fulham 0.
Do you know what, Thogdad? Zaha to score, and it's going to be a Christmas party for Crystal Palace.
Based on the current form of both teams, I predict a score of 1-1.
Everton against Wolverhampton Wanderers, 17th against 20th. What a relegation dogfight. And what are these teams doing down there, Theo?
I know. They both need to pick up points. The time is now. They've had a nice 6-week break.
Everton 1 point above the relegation zone. But Wolves, 8 goals all season. They get a goal every 3 hours. That is ridiculous. These are 2 teams who need to spend big in the winter transfer window.
Let's be honest. Goodison Park, Everton. Connor Cody won't play because of the loan agreement deal. Do you think they have enough in the forward positions to score and win? Because for me, this is a 0-0 written all over it. I can't see either team scoring in this game.
Well, this is it. If you are a percentages guy, Theo, a numbers guy, you say Wolves won't score.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say
but
that.
But neither will Everton.
But Theo,
who's going to get that goal, really?
It's all about the Goodison Park faithful for me.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be 0-0 for most of the game, but then there's going to be 1 goal from somewhere to Everton. 1-0 Everton.
The Toffees are winning it. Thogdad is backing you.
Do I have to wear that hat?
It is difficult to predict the exact score of the match, but based on the current form of both teams, I would predict a score of 2-1 in favour of Everton.
Leicester City against Newcastle United, it's 13th against 3rd. But more important, Theo, these are 2 of the form teams of the division.
I know.
Leicester have won 4 of the last 5 games.
It's unbelievable. Leicester's form has just... They'll be gutted the World Cup came round because Brendan Rodgers wanted to keep it up, right?
Absolutely. Game week 16, it was Maddison, it was Barnes, wasn't it, Theo, in that win. But Newcastle, my goodness, how good are they at the moment?
That's the thing. Newcastle look like a top 4 side with Almiron smashing it, Callum Wilson, Alexander Isak. They've got that striker options everywhere around the pitch. Newcastle of quality, and they didn't lose too many players during the World Cup, so they'll be rested up.
That is true, Theo, but did the World Cup break come at the wrong time?
I think it did. It definitely spoilt the form of both these teams.
Yeah.
Leicester actually brought 7 players to the World Cup, but 0 from the round of 16. So the players had a break.
This is a game that could really have goals. I think this could be a sensational game. But having said that, I've gone with a 1-1 draw. I've no idea why.
1-1 draw. I nearly went for a 2-2.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling the Foxes are going to edge it. James Maddison rested up, didn't really get enough game time at the World Cup. Harvey Barnes, Hungary, 2-1.
But Theo, Newcastle have lost once this season.
I
They're
know.
going to lose to Leicester.
But Dad, you don't understand. Mental things happen on Boxing Day. Leicester are going to win. Watch this happen.
Based on the current form of both teams, I predict a score of 2-1 in favour of Leicester.
Now for Southampton in 19th against Brighton and Hove Albion in 7th. And I should be whispering this because Portsmouth is over there.
I know.
Theo. Now Southampton, we know, flirting with relegation. Brighton pushing for Europe.
On one hand, we got Southampton barely putting in any good Premier League form. Where are the goals going to come from? Under Nathan Jones, it's only been Che Adams to score. Will that change today?
Well, I tell you what, Brighton always struggle a little bit for goals, don't you? We know how well drilled they are. Southampton can be brilliant on their day, or they can be absolute pants. Because it's Boxing Day, because it's a derby game, I think it's going to be tight. I think I'm going to go 1-1.
Well, we're on the South Coast, and it's two South Coast teams, so we should be predicting this correctly. Now, we've got to congratulate Alexis McAllister for winning the World Cup, but he won't be playing against the Saints, will he?
I think he's partying, isn't he, in Buenos Aires?
Yeah, he is. He's not coming back for it. What's your thoughts on that?
I cannot blame him.
If you were the manager of Brighton, what would you be saying?
You'd be saying, enjoy yourself, to be quite honest. You just won the World Cup there.
I'm also going to agree on a 1-1. I can't call this game. I think it'll be low scoring.
It is difficult to predict the exact score of the match, but based on the current form of both teams, I would predict a score of 1-1.
Aston Villa against Liverpool, it's 12th against 6th, and both of these teams won last week, and one player scored 2 goals for each team. I'm going to test you. How good is your memory? Aston Villa, who scored 2 goals for them in game week 16?
Danny Ings.
Yeah, okay. Liverpool, who scored 2 goals for them in game week 16?
Darwin Núñez.
Oh, you're too good at this thing.
Wait, did I actually get both right?
You got both right.
Yes.
But what is going to happen here? Because Aston Villa, I think they've won 3 of the last 4 games. A bit of form coming their way.
This is the game Darwin Núñez decides to make Villa his baby. He's going to bully them. Liverpool going to run riot. 3-1 win. I'm getting straight to it.
Well, we've got an uncle in there who is an Aston Villa fan, so I'm going to have to keep my voice down here. Because I said last game week that Liverpool, when they start winning, they're going to keep winning. And I'm going to stick with that. I'm going Villa 1. Sorry, Simon. Liverpool 2.
But Dad, they just lost 3-2 to Man City in the Cup.
Cup shmup, Theo. Nobody cares about the Carabao Cup.
Erling Haaland does.
This is the Premier League, Theo. This is all that matters over the next couple of days.
Based on the current form of both teams, I predict a score of 2-1 in favour of Liverpool.
Arsenal against West Ham United, first against 16th, and it's another cracking London derby. Now, Arsenal, it was Ødegaard in game week 16. Do you remember their record? 1-12, drawn 1, lost 1.
Unbelievable.
Surely that can't continue.
And because City lost in the last game week, they stayed top even further of the Premier League. But they don't have Gabriel Jesus, and they're playing a strong David Moyes West Ham side that could definitely cause an upset.
Well, I tell you what, West Ham are in terrible form at the
They are,
moment.
but they've had a break.
Not clicking. It's it's one of those funny games that the form books say Arsenal are going to absolutely smash them.
Yeah.
But in reality, it probably won't be.
Nketiah up top. What do you think about Eddie? He's been given the chance to get back into that striker role. Is he good enough?
I think he's a good player, and I'm not too sure. The jury is out on him, Theo.
Now, what's Scamacca going to do? He's had a nice rest. Italy, of course, not qualified for the World Cup, so he's had to do nothing. Ben Rama, Algeria didn't qualify for the World Cup. He might not play either way. Jared Bowen wasn't selected for England. These players all feel as if they need to prove something, no?
They do, and this is the toughest possible game for them. And you know what? I'm going to go with home advantage. Straight to it, 2-0 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal. A low scoring, not a cracker. I can see either team showing great opportunities, but in the end, all points to the Gunners, and they'll stay top of the Premier League. Over to the supercomputer.
It is difficult to predict the exact score of the match, but based on the current form of both teams, I would predict a score of 2-1 in favour of Arsenal.
Chelsea against Bournemouth, 8th against 14th, and it's pouring down with rain right now. So we're
pouring
gonna
down with rain in Portsmouth on a Christmas day, and we're still creating content. If that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does.
And I tell you what, though, Chelsea lost the last 3 in the Premier League. It's all gone horribly wrong, but surely a game against Bournemouth at home, this is where the slump ends.
Rory Jennings wrote to me, he said they need a new manager.
Well, Rory likes changing managers, but let's not mention him anymore. Anyway, Chelsea, I think, surely they've got to win. Bournemouth did win the last game, but I'm going to go with home advantage. Chelsea have had a nice break.
Bournemouth be on better form.
They have.
You got to back the cherries. Gary O'Neill, our boy, is the manager.
Do you know what? Because it's Chelsea, Theo, because it's Boxing Day, 2-0 Chelsea.
I'm going 2-1 Chelsea. Raheem Sterling to score.
Based on the current form of both teams, I predict that Chelsea will win the match with a score of 3-1.
Manchester United against Nottingham Forest, 5th against 18th. 2 more teams who won in game week 18. It was that man Garnacho, wasn't it?
I know.
For Man United.
What a
who
player.
got the winner.
Late scenes at Fulham.
And if we're going to mention that, we've got to mention Gibbs White, who's been in really good form recently. Now, can Nottingham Forest surprise United at Old Trafford?
I don't think they can. Manchester United have had a break to understand what their qualities are. They got a solid 2-0 win against Burnley. The cohesion looked really solid. Eriksen got a goal and Rashford, Maradona-esque,
Yeah.
And after a run in the World Cup, when given game time, Marcus is a signing for FPL you should all be looking at.
This is the first game without Cristiano Ronaldo, isn't it, for United? What will United fans think of that?
They'll be happy. There'll be no more pressure, no more wage structure problems, no more thinking, oh, we have to bring on Ronaldo to keep him happy. Forget all that. Let the kids grow and build as a football team. I got a lot of hate from Manchester United fans for saying Ronaldo needs to be sacked off by the club. Ronaldo's gone and Manchester United are going to look better than they ever did before.
It's going to be United. I think it'll be closer than some people think.
I bet you it'll be very positive now. I bet you
Yes.
everything will go to plan. I'm sure Rashford would score 2-0.
And I'm going to go 2-0 as well.
It is difficult to predict the exact score of the match, but based on the current form of both teams, I would predict a score of 2-1 in favour of Manchester United.
And finally, Leeds United in 15th against Manchester City in 2nd. Now, Leeds in Gameweek 16 were ahead 3 times against Tottenham Hotspur and lost 4-3. Man City lost to Brentford. So 2 teams who didn't do well last week.
No, they didn't.
Tell you what, never write off Leeds United because you know it's going to be a full-on game. You know Leeds United are going to go at you. You know the fans are going to be in great
But
voice.
the problem was they went at Tottenham 3 times and from scoring positions, winning positions, they bottled it for the first time since Boxing Day 2012 in Premier League history.
Well, I tell you what, it was pouring down with rain here, and your uncle has just said, let's go to the pub. So I'm going to get straight to the result.
That is 10:30 a.m. What do you mean go to the pub?
Special pub opening hours. Leeds will score, I think. It will. This is going to be a beautiful game. If it's on telly, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Leeds 1, Man City 3. City have got to catch up with Arsenal.
Erling Haaland's birthplace is Leeds United, and he was spotted with Leeds tracksuits on when he was at Dortmund. Do you think he'll score?
I'm going to give him 1 goal.
Just 1 goal. I think this game will go goal crazy, and it will start with Leeds scoring under Jesse Marsch, but then Man City will slowly climb back into it. João Cancelo will be involved after his bad treatment from the Portuguese gaffer. Haaland's getting 2. 3-1 win. Pep Guardiola will be pushing for that Premier League first place.
It is difficult to predict the exact score of tomorrow's match between Leeds and Manchester City. However, based on the current form of both teams, I would predict a close match with a score of 2-1 in favour of Manchester City.
Someone there, I just noticed them, have not yet subscribed.
Oh my God, what are you doing? We're
person
producing
there.
content for you on Christmas Day.
I know.
And you haven't subscribed. Don't be a mug.
Subscribe, press the like button. Oh, someone's asking me a question. Do I want to go to the pub? Yes, I do. See you.